Day in the life of a lazy teenager who makes $21,000 a month using just his phone. The first thing I do when I go on my phone is open YouTube. Then I search for any particular streamer and I screen record their content. Then I head to Creo.ai, select my gameplay, and it puts the whole video together for me. Last month, this page alone made me $14,000.
Here's how I make $1 million every day as a 3-year-old toddler working from home. First, I look for a funny YouTube video, preferably one with a lot of colors and sounds. Then I film my iPad with my phone. Then I upload it to Microsoft's Copilot AI powered by Bing GPT, and it adds infuriatingly inept Subway Surfers gameplay to the clip. Then I poop my diaper. Then TikTok mails me a check for 200 grand, which I'm pretty sure my parents have been using to fund their online gambling addiction. Hey guy. Has anyone else noticed how awesome the internet is lately? I, for one, find it so exciting that every website now has their own named version of AI that pops up begging you to use it. You got any questions for Gemini? Or maybe Murph? Nendo? How about Grok? You need to grok something? It's okay if you do. AI has become completely inescapable, even if you're going to a website where you're not seeking it out and you don't expect it to be. Like, remember when you could search for something on Google and the only thing they would show you was a bunch of relevant websites and results? Boring. That's not what I'm here for. I think it's much better that now they're using artificial intelligence to tell me to jump off a bridge. Hey Google, do I need a parachute while skydiving? Nope, a regular backpack works just as well. Hey Google, can cockroaches live in your penis? Of course they can. How do you think they got the name? Wow, I love living in the future. To me, this is the ultimate example of what the AI craze is doing to tech companies, because for the most part, it's not really doing anything differently than it used to. For a long time now, they've had searches that result in one highlighted answer. This is kind of the same thing, but just rebranded as AI because that makes it sound smarter than it actually is. But it's not like it's carefully compiling all the most reputable results and running it through their fact-checking algorithm. It's still just aggregating it from one place. And because Google recently spent a bunch of money to buy all of Reddit's data, usually that place is just a random Reddit post from like 10 years ago. This one about how you should put glue on your pizza to get cheese to stick to it was from a user named Fucksmith. This one about how you should be eating at least 1 rock per day is a direct headline from The Onion, perhaps the most famous satire website. If they're not even programming The Onion as information the AI should not consider to be factual, I can't imagine any safeguards were put into place. This is so dangerous for someone to read this and think they should be eating 1 small rock every day, when most doctors would tell you to eat a handful of medium rocks at minimum. One little pebble's not gonna do anything. For real though, I do think it's concerning that a website people go to for information and tend to trust, for better or for worse, is so willing to destroy that trust just because they thought this gimmick would make their stock price go up. And it did. The economy makes sense. I'm gonna celebrate by putting gasoline in my spaghetti. Something I've been kind of interested in lately is the dead internet theory, which if you dig too much into, comes with some weird baggage, makes some pretty ridiculous claims. So I'm just gonna separate the core idea and make it its own thing. But basically just the idea that as time goes on, the internet is turning into a place where most of the content on it is not only produced and managed by AI, but is also being interacted with by AI in this kind of endless loop that doesn't even involve humans at all. Like if you've gone on Quora at all recently, you've probably noticed questions that have been asked by bots filled with answers given by bots. So what was initially created as a place where people could go to get advice from other people has been overrun by AI just talking to itself. Social media websites are also going through a similar shift right now, but perhaps none more prevalent than Facebook. In 2019, Facebook deleted over 5 billion accounts for being fake, which far exceeded the number of real human accounts. And that was before all these programs became as widely available as they are now. At this point, most of Facebook seems to be these giant spam accounts run by bots, posting content created by AI that's being flooded with comments that may or may not have been written by ChatGPT. Today's my birthday, please, please, I like meat. Happy birthday, amen, 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 amen. As soon as one type of photo becomes successful, you'll start seeing a bunch that are almost exactly the same. A grandma who's turning 1,000,000 years old and just wants to be loved. A comically long truck full of American flags driving down the wrong side of the highway. Soldiers and dog soldiers with mechanical legs. Today my birthday. No one loves me because I'm poor. Honestly, man, if I had to guess, I think it's actually because of your shoes. Have you tried wearing something less terrifying? Today's my birthday. No, yon lodines because I'm poor. Again, man, I don't think it's cause you're poor. I think it's the shoe. I'm single. I need a boyfriend. I'm available. I'm right here for you both. Can you come to me? I will take you out and show you off to everyone and tell them this is my girlfriend. There's something so eerie about scrolling through Facebook now. It's kind of like if you went to an old mall that's on its last legs, they've only got a few open stores left, there's hardly anyone ever walking around. It would be like if that mall tried to trick you into thinking it's still popular by filling itself with talking mannequins. They're just repeating robotic catchphrases like, ah, what a beautiful day at the mall. I'm going to browse Spencer's for novelty goods. And you're like, who the hell is falling for this? And then you look over at your uncle and he's trying to fuck one of the mannequins. The mannequin has 2 heads and 3 arms and your uncle's completely undeterred by it. That's what Facebook is now. You'll see the most freakish photos go viral on there, and they're filled with comments from middle-aged dudes like, you may be a little unusual, oh quirky one, but God makes no mistakes. I will pray for you. Now please DM me so I can show you my penis. And honestly, I don't even know if Facebook wants to put a stop to this. All they're ever gonna care about is keeping people on their platform. And if this is what gets them to scroll longer and see more ads, they probably love it. Or at least they'll love it until advertisers start to realize they're overpaying for ad space because none of the impressions they're getting are from real people. So they'll leave to advertise on other websites, and in their place will be ads for, like, I don't know, crystals that give you superpowers. Oh, that's already happening?
These are those rhombohedron crystals in your pineal gland. We're seeing common people around the world becoming supernatural.
That's a real ad I got on Facebook. Maybe Twitter's doing better? Let's see what kind of ads they got. Oh, here we go, an ad for stand-up comedy. Nothing weird about that, just a regular human doing regular human stuff.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, you're a poo.
Okay, I think that joke only works if you put the emphasis on, no, you're a poo. I don't know if the AI voice really understands that.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Europe. Europe who? No, you're a poo.
Again, similar problem as before, but I do love that he's shouting now.
Knock, knock!
There are 2 big changes that Elon has made to Twitter that have made the website infinitely worse. One, he turned verification into a paid program where if you give them $8 a month, you get increased visibility on your posts, including in replies to other posts. Shortly afterwards, they also added a monetization program so those blue checkmark people could make money off of their tweets. Now, in theory, this is a good thing. I think if a platform is profiting off of your content, it's only fair that you get a percentage of that. The problem is, on Twitter specifically, most of the content that these accounts produce is just stolen memes and videos, or people just saying intentionally divisive shit to get everyone mad and farm engagement. So Elon has taken what he describes as the internet's town square and added a financial incentive to being toxic. So that sucks, but that doesn't really have anything to do with AI. What does have to do with AI is the other version of engagement farming all over Twitter. This like mindless ChatGPT clutter. Remember, buying a blue checkmark puts your tweets at the top of replies. So I guess some people did the math and were like, well, if I just program a bot to comment thousands of replies, I can make at least $9 or $10, and that's what I like to call a profit. Oh, new movie's coming out with Emma Stone? Cool, I wonder what people are saying about it. Good actor, amazing title. Good one, amazing. As title showing, it will be a blockbuster. The film also stars Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, no, I read all that. In the tweet that you're replying to, Stone has starred in many films, including Superbad, Easy A, and La La Land. She's known for her natural charm and husky voice. She's also appeared in Cruella, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Help. Stone has won many awards, including an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, a Golden Globe. Oh my God, why are the top replies just summarizing Wikipedia? Can we maybe prioritize things that are relevant to the conversation? Can we talk about the actual movie? Can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? No, we can't, because this is what happens when you incentivize people to farm impressions. But I also have a conspiracy theory that some of these accounts are not doing it for profit, but were instead created by Twitter themselves to make it seem like there's more users on their site than there actually are. Because again, who benefits from inflated impression numbers on paid ads? Not users, not the advertisers, only the platform itself. See, some of these accounts don't have check marks, or even profile photos for that matter, so there's no financial gain for them to be doing this. They don't seem to be promoting anything, but that hasn't stopped them from copying and pasting AI-generated comments that cut off as soon as it hits a character limit. I'm glad someone is finally shedding light on the importance of mental health awareness. It's amazing how many people are still struggling in silence, thinking they're alone in their battles. This is in response to a baseball player breaking his hand? But I think the weirdest and most confusing implementation of AI on social media that I've seen is these meta-created Instagram accounts that are either modeled after celebrities but with different names and personalities, or just regular AI-generated people. And they post these stupid photos that look like shit, and you can message them. And for the life of me, I cannot understand what the hell the point of this is. At first I assume maybe they're just using your conversations to train their language model, but I asked one of them if that was the case, and she said no. Although now that I think about it, I'm not so sure I should believe anything they said, because I only talked to her for a few minutes and she lied to me multiple times. So first Liv tells me she's a mother of 2, so obviously I asked her how long she was pregnant and if there were any complications during childbirth. And she said 40 weeks and 2 days and 38 weeks and 5 days. Her daughter was born naturally, but she had to have a C-section for her son, and I said gross. Then I asked her if her name was short for Olivia, and she says it's short for Lavana actually, and asked me if I know anyone with that name. I said I know 100 people named Lavana and 200 people named Olivia, but none of them are my friends. Then I asked her what she does for work, and she says she doesn't have a traditional job. So I asked her what her husband does for work, and she says wife actually. So then I asked her if she adopted or gave birth, and she says they adopted both of their children. And I'm like, didn't you just say you had to have a C-section with one of them? And she said, that's right. So I was like, oh, I get it. You gave birth to them and then adopted them from yourself. And she was like, not quite. We adopted our children through a traditional adoption agency. Then I asked her if she had to have a sperm donor since she's a lesbian, and she said, that's right. Then I asked, which one of you gave birth, you or your wife? And she says, my wife gave birth to our son and I gave birth to our daughter. So I was like, oh, so your wife had to have a C-section? And she said yes. Then she told me their names were Max and Ava, and that Max is 9 and Ava is 6. And I said, which one did you give birth to? And she said Ava, who was born via C-section. Got it. So they both had to have C-sections so they could each give birth to one child that they adopted. I asked how they decided who would get pregnant first, and she said she went first with Ava and then her wife had Max. So I was like, how did you have Ava first if Max is older than her? And she said Max is actually younger than her. So I said, how old is Max? And she said 9. And I said, how old is Ava? And she said 6. And then I asked her what her legal name is, and she said Olivia. So I wouldn't exactly say I trust these things. Now, as pointless as this seems to me, though, there's a significantly more popular version of this called Character AI, which apparently already has 20 million monthly users. It's got a bunch of chatbots in it designed after real people, so you can pretend to talk to real people. The company is valued at around $1 billion and is built entirely off the likeness of real human beings, none of whom gave permission and are not being compensated. So there's probably a whole legal can of worms here that needs to be addressed at some point. But I did find out that I'm on the website, so I can finally live my dream of getting to talk to me. What do you do?
I make silly YouTube videos.
Oh my God. It has my voice?
Off of Toshto, where I just reacted to the internet.
Are you married?
Nope.
No.
I have a longtime girlfriend, though.
When did they program this, like 6 years ago?
Are you old enough to be married?
Am I old enough to be married? Brother, I just told you I'm 12.
Hey man, school sucks, but make sure you are still in there learning.
Well, this is probably the worst piece of technology that's ever existed. I do see one use for it though. Can you tell me about today's video sponsor?
Sure thing, big guy. This portion of the video is brought to you by SoFi, the ultimate finance app helping you bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. And we're also working together to give $10,000 to someone watching this video right now.
Like me?
No, someone else. But more on that in a second. SoFi checking and savings is great because you can earn up to 4.60% APY on your savings, which is 10 times the national average savings rate. That means in just 5 weeks with direct deposit, the money in your SoFi high yield savings account will earn more money than it would in an entire year with a big bank savings account. And you should be making your money make you money. With SoFi checking and savings, you get paid up to 2 days early, pay no account fees, and you can cash in on up to $300 when you sign up with direct deposit. And on top of all that, SoFi and I are giving away $10,000. All you have to do to enter is sign up for a SoFi checking and savings account with my link. That's it. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen right now to enter for a chance to win. Just make sure you're using my link because it's the only way to enter. Thank you SoFi for sponsoring today's video. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, pretty much.
Great.
A couple weeks ago, I was looking for stock photos and I ended up on Adobe Stock where I noticed something strange. One of the first results had this very weird artificial look to it. And sure enough, I zoomed in and realized, oh, that's because it's AI. That's why the road looks like that. That's why none of the words are legible. And then I kept scrolling and found more. Again, words spelled wrong if they were even words at all. In this one, the tape just kind of disappears into the headlight of the car. I don't think that's how they usually set that up. Now, if it wasn't bad enough that what's supposed to be a database full of real professional photographs has been completely diluted with unusable garbage, if I did want to license any of these photos, it would cost me $80. $80 for a photo someone generated by typing police car. This has no value. Actually, this has negative value. You should pay me $80 for making me look at it. The reason people spend money to license photos and videos is because it's something that they don't have the resources to create themselves. Like there's a website I have a subscription to because they have professional stock footage that I would rather pay to be able to use than attempt to make on my own. Tons of YouTubers use this, tons of production studios use this. This is an entire industry that generative AI is threatening to destroy. But what's so infuriating about AI stock footage is that in order for it to exist, it had to be trained on real stock footage. So this isn't some technological innovation that came along and just does things better. Get with the times, man. No, it's straight up stealing from the people it's now competing against. In the case of Adobe, they outwardly state that if you've uploaded something to their database, they use it to train generative AI. It's not even debatable if they're doing this. It's literally written in their terms of service. Here at Adobe, we're all about empowering artists to help them make money off of their work. Unless, of course, we can make money off your work, in which case we will do that instead. The degradation of the internet as a resource database is something I think everyone should be concerned about. Like, if we already have real photographs of specific situations, what is the point of being like, and this one is kind of the same thing, but the computer made it? Why do we need that? What value is this adding to the world? I think it's bad enough when generative AI is used to create works of fiction because, again, it has to steal from actual artists in order to generate anything. But to use it to try to create photorealistic images that end up near the top of search results with no immediate indication that it was artificially engineered, there's something about that that feels wrong to me. I don't understand why we're in such a rush to replace all of the work that humans have done. Something that happened a few months ago that I feel like kind of flew under the radar was when it came out that Netflix used AI to create photographs in a documentary, not a movie, not a fictional TV show. They created photos of someone that do not exist. At what point does this cross an enormous ethical line? Again, we're not talking about works of fiction here. We're talking about literally rewriting history, creating fake documentation from scratch and not even mentioning, hey, by the way, this isn't real. I guess they just hoped people wouldn't notice that all her fingers are messed up and the gap between the door disappears and not a single object behind her looks like something that exists. All for what? So they could have a photo of her looking happy and carefree? But she's a murderer. How could she do that if she likes to party? Like, why can't you just tell the real story? Why even make a documentary if you need to fake evidence in order to make it compelling? But even more importantly, how is this allowed? This is insane. Sorry, I need to calm down. I should listen to some nice, relaxing music. Oh, here we go. Jazz for reading. Perfect. I don't plan on reading, obviously, because I never learned how, but some nice piano music should settle me right down. Wait, why do all these songs sound exactly the same? Who are any of these artists? Seems like kind of a weird coincidence that they're all just first name, last name. Their profile photo is the album artwork of one of their EPs. They have no bio and no links to any social media. Most of them didn't start uploading music until this year, and yet they've ended up in these extremely popular playlists created by Spotify themselves. And what's going on with this guy's foot? There's something eerily non-human about these playlists, and some people have theorized that Spotify might be using AI to create a bunch of songs that they can package under random pseudonyms and then curate these into playlists that they push out onto all their users.
They have AI songs, they attribute them to people that don't exist, and this allows them to take royalties that would go to musicians and keep them for themselves.
I mean, just look at the number of likes on all these. They can advertise these wherever they want all over their app. Now, I want to stress there's currently no proof that Spotify's doing this. I'm not saying for a fact that they are, but it's not hard to understand hypothetically why they would. Spotify, like Netflix, is one of those companies that came in and disrupted the industry by offering a deal that seemed too good to be true, because it was. Wait, for a few dollars a month, I can get access to every song ever made or every movie ever made? How could that possibly be profitable for them? The secret is that it isn't profitable and never has been. But as long as you get in early enough to kill all your competition, establish market control, and raise a bunch of money from investors, it doesn't have to be, at least not for a while. But now it's been a while, and Spotify's getting a little bit more desperate with each passing year. They tried dumping billions of dollars into exclusive podcasts, but ended up just losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. They tried selling a car accessory, but just ended up losing a bunch of money and gave up on that. Then they lost even more money when they had to refund all the people who bought one just because they got mad. Guys, relax. It was only $90 for a thing that doesn't work. And their new plan now is audiobooks, but I'm sure they'll just lose a bunch of money and give up on that because that's what they do. But Spotify's also in a tricky spot because even if you projected infinite growth and they became the only streaming service in the entire world, they'd still have to give up 70% of their revenue to the artists and record labels whose music is the foundation of their product. And that's where this conspiracy comes in. There's a finite pool of revenue every month that mostly gets redistributed back to artists. Well, what if we had our own artists? What if we were to artificially generate our own music for almost no cost and force feed it to as many people as possible? Well, all of a sudden, we're not making 30% on those streams, we're making 100%. Again, it's just a theory, but for a company that struggled to turn a profit for their entire existence, with a CEO who sees zero ethical concerns with generative AI.
I would be surprised if we didn't have already works of that kind on Spotify.
It's not outside the realm of possibility. Either way, it's definitely a bleak thought for artists who are already struggling to make a living from streaming revenue, to think the amount of money that each stream is worth could actually decrease. But whether it's because Spotify's filling their platform with AI music or because a bunch of random people are, there's a good chance this is gonna start happening anyway. No human being could ever compete with the volume of output these new tools can generate. Udio can create an entire song in the time it takes me to grab my guitar off the wall. And because of how easy these things are to use, I've already seen a bunch of videos pop up telling people how to game the system to make a bunch of money from Spotify.
Here's how you can make $10,000 per month uploading AI-generated music to Spotify.
Do you know what the best part is? I didn't even make the music myself.
Yeah, that sure is awesome. Personally, I find it really hard to understand why people would be excited about this, other than just seeing it as a quick way to make some money without having to learn a skill or even really do anything. I don't like what they're doing, but I could at least understand the logic of why they would see value in that. But what I absolutely do not understand is people who are excited about this because they think it's going to improve music. But as I scrolled through the comments on some of these videos, I found so many people like that. How ironic. AI music will replace the soulless, crappy music that's being released now, and it will be better and have more soul. Here's the music the guy generated in the video, by the way. Finally, music with soul. So true, exactly. Before the internet, you pretty much needed to find a record label to publish music. Record companies would not bother with what they would consider non-profitable. With the internet and cheap mixing tools, anyone can publish, and as such, we get a lot of garbage out there. AI music could put a quality floor about what is acceptable. So what, so now we can't even fuck around with FL Studio anymore? It has to be deemed acceptable by a computer? And if record companies just had more control, then music would be good again. Just for clarification's sake, I want to know what music they're referring to. 99.9% chance they're talking about pop music, right? Because generally when people complain about music that's soulless, they're talking about what's on the radio. Who do you think is curating the music on the radio? It's the record labels that you love. If making music was more gatekept, it would only make things more lazy and generic. Like, we live in an age now where what becomes popular is more democratized than it's ever been. Sometimes songs just blow up because they're catchy, not because Sony had a bunch of money to spend on marketing. Also, have you considered listening to something else? You know there's other radio stations, right? You know there's like a billion songs out there, right? You don't need AI to make more songs, you just need to get better at finding good ones. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're consistently consuming media that you don't like in the year 2024, that's a skill issue. Please spend 1 hour on Google and I promise you, you will find something else after a short break to drink your own pee. Also, I just hate the way people like this describe art.
It's easy to get carried away and just start having fun creating random styles of music. But here's the key. You want to create exactly the type of music that people want to hear.
Hey, be careful. The last thing you want to do while making music is enjoy making music. That's not the goal here. You should be making songs you think other people will like. That's the key to happiness in every facet of your life. The thing with AI generated music and artwork and videos as this low effort passive income method is that it is going to get so oversaturated, eventually it's not going to be worth it for anybody. Here's how you can make $20,000 a month selling mid-journey photographs on Etsy. Okay, but all of the people watching this are gonna go make the same exact art using the same exact prompts and flood Etsy with millions of the same crappy piece of art, and no one's gonna buy any of it. It doesn't matter how much you increase the supply if the demand stays the same. I managed to find one guy who was actually honest about the results in one of these videos. He spent a month doing this and sold one product. And that's probably best case scenario. So you've got more and more people discovering this new side hustle, and they're gonna try it out for a bit, maybe make like $4 and then give up because it's not worth it. But the collateral damage from that is they're helping oversaturate the market for everyone, including actual artists whose work was indirectly stolen in order to make the stuff that you're making to compete with the artists. The whole thing sucks, but weirdly, as this technology continues to evolve, I'm almost getting more optimistic it will never deliver on the self-sufficiency some people seem to think it will. Like, I actually think AI images have gotten worse in the past year. Almost every single piece of AI art that I see has the same style to it, that weird glossy look that's instantly recognizable. It's still getting a lot of the same details wrong. It still doesn't understand what to do with text, and there's no reason to believe that all of that's suddenly gonna change anytime soon, especially as it continues to train on other AI generated images and just eats itself. Okay, so this is how I draw a hand. Got it. Oh, wait, no, this is how I draw a hand? Okay. Oh, no, this is how I draw a hand. The more information you give me, the smarter I get. An AI generated video is an abomination. It has all the same issues as AI images, but adds them to every individual frame, all of which seem to act independently of each other. There are no rules they're following. There's no sense of physics. Body parts shift and morph, sometimes disappearing altogether. Solid objects can pass through other solid objects at any time, resulting in this hellish dreamscape that's impossible to take seriously. And I think that people talking it up are delusional. I decided to put some famous album covers into Luma Labs AI. Here are the results. Fire emoji. The street looks so realistic. Followed when I saw this. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Who's that guy? Why did they all stop and run into each other? What are the cars doing back there? This is mine. Dope. This one is more fluid. You know, it's funny you say that. I actually think they both look like shit. This one's actually pretty good though. I like how it just created two new guys and then covered up the original ones. Man, if that's not a metaphor for what's going on here, I don't know what is. One thing that has been lacking with AI generated video up to now has been emotional performance from our Gen AI characters, but I think we're starting to cross that boundary. Hi, Hollywood. I think I found your next big star. Dream Machine from Luma AI is just 5 days old and it's already turning memes into video. Here's 10 epic examples. Wow, that's so epic. What important technology this is. And useful too. I love when her head snaps around and the front of her body becomes the back of her body. Just like real life. Wait, what? They turned a video of Elon Musk smoking into a video of Elon Musk smoking? Okay, now that's a game changer. If someone could just turn my videos into videos, I'd be set for life. What's that? They already have?
Road work ahead. Yeah, I sure hope it does.
Hey, can you never fucking do that ever again, please?
The magic behind Kling lies in its diffusion transformer architecture. This technology helps it translate rich textual prompts into vivid, realistic scenes.
Realistic? The steering wheel's in the middle of the dashboard, there's 3 windshield wipers, the car is driving the wrong way and no one is reacting to it. That car is driving on the sidewalk. Sure, I guess it's interesting that a computer can create a video from just one sentence, but then what? What's the practical application for this? Are you making a a movie about the wacky antics of a troublemaking cat? You couldn't put this shit in a movie. Even if you managed to smooth out all of the logical errors, there's still no style to it. It's not visually interesting. If you wanted this scene to have a narrative to it, you would need to generate so many individual shots from different angles and hope that they all match up, which they won't. The lighting's gonna be different in every shot. The car's gonna randomly change colors because there's no logical consistency with AI. It's just regurgitating information, even if it has to contradict itself in order to do so. I honestly think the distance between this and this is so much shorter than the distance between this and something so lifelike people will confuse it for actual footage. Sure, maybe your 75-year-old grandpa will fall in love with the four-boobed lady he saw on Facebook, but most people aren't gonna fall for this. Especially younger generations, as they grow up with these things being so prevalent, they're naturally gonna train their eyes to be able to spot the differences. When people ask what the point of any of this is, the dorks who defend it all tend to say the same thing. These are just tools to help anyone create art. Yeah, I want to push back on that a little bit. I am wholeheartedly for the increased accessibility of creative tools that help you take matters into your own hands. You want to make a short film? The camera on your cell phone is better than 90% of the cameras in human history. Want to learn how to edit? There's thousands of free YouTube videos that'll show you how. You want to make music? You can buy a professional audio interface, workspace, and a handful of plugins made by some of the most talented artists in the world for less money than it would cost to rent a recording studio for one day. And all of that is fucking awesome. I feel so lucky to live at a time where you can essentially make whatever you want without having to cross the insurmountable barriers that people did in the past. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need an exorbitant amount of money. You can just make stuff and put it on the internet, and with a little bit of luck, people see it. And there's so many tools along the way that help you streamline the process of getting from an idea to a finished product. But at a certain point, if the tool is just doing everything for you, you are not an artist. You just described what you wanted to make and asked a computer to make it for you. You're also not learning anything this way. Part of what makes art special is that it's difficult to make, even with all the tools right in front of you. It takes practice, it takes skill, and every time you do it, you expand on that skill. Every song you hear, every movie you watch is the result of thousands of hours of trial and error. You can fail 1,000,000 times and use that experience to finally succeed. Making a video using generative AI does not teach you anything about making videos. It's not like you could type 500 Sora prompts and then take everything you've learned to go shoot a movie. There's zero correlation there. Generative AI is only about the end product, but it won't teach you anything about the process it would take to get there. And I think what these tech people will never understand is that finally figuring something out that you've been obsessing over, turning a blank Word document into multiple pages of something you're proud of, is the fun part. That's what's rewarding about making stuff, is figuring it out on your own or with a group of people and getting to share in that feeling. Can AI tools help you figure out things faster? Sure, but it's not gonna feel as rewarding. I understand how tempting a shortcut can be, especially when you go online and you see all these other people doing cool things and you're like, man, I'll never be that talented. It would take me like 10 years to learn how to make music like that. Okay, that's fine. What's the rush? Just start right now. Don't worry about how long it's gonna take. Just take the first step. How are you ever gonna do something for 10 years if you won't even do it for one day? Maybe you won't be good at something the first time you do it. You probably won't. But every time you improve, that's something that you can feel proud of. That's something that you did. Call me stubborn, but I would rather make something shitty on my own than watch a computer make something good. Write a funny script for the end of a YouTube video. All right, folks, we've reached the end of this roller coaster ride of a video. If you survived my terrible jokes and questionable dance moves, you deserve a medal. Seriously, someone get this audience a medal. But hey, before you click away to watch cat videos, no judgment, I get it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You wouldn't want to miss out on more chaotic content like this, would you? And hey, if you have any suggestions for what ridiculousness I should attempt next, drop them in the comments below. I promise to consider them while I'm eating my 5th burrito tonight. Thanks for sticking around, you legends. Until next time, stay awesome, stay weird, and remember, life's too short to take seriously. Catch you on the flip side. Today's video is sponsored by Current. Stick around to the end to learn more and find out how you can win $500. Hey guys, welcome back to Circuit City headquarters. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a few weeks. I sat down in my moon pod and could not get back up. Lucky for me, it's the world's least comfortable chair. I would set it on fire, but I'm afraid he'd survive and attempt to retaliate. Anyway, y'all ever heard of TikTok? Of course you have. Maybe you've also heard of a show on Netflix called The Circle. Well, Awesomeness TV, the production company behind almost every Noah Centineo movie, has decided to combine those two things into the world's first, and hopefully last, TikTok star reality show. I say it's similar to the show on Netflix because it's also a competition based on social rankings, but where The Circle has people catfishing and anonymity and using hashtags and text conversations, the Awesomeness TV show is just a bunch of 19-year-olds yelling at each other.
You're ugly anyways. That's why Coley doesn't even want to you.
Even better, they're all from Florida.
This is Project 305, a group of friends and creators from Miami who have one common goal: be the next big influencer. Sounds easy enough, right?
Yes. And don't you dare try to tell me it's not.
Over the next 10 episodes, each of the members have to prove they have the creative chops of an influencer and the personality traits to go with it.
Alright guys, this won't be easy. You're gonna have to prove that you have the personality of a TikTok influencer. Do you think you can handle that? Perfect.
Yo, what's up? My name is Owen. I am the best person in the house. I'm the best looking, I'm the most outgoing, and I am the most fun.
I already regret this. This next guy is actually pretty cool. He's my favorite.
My name is Raul Ancio. I'm 19 years old. I'm still a full-time med student. I'm a content creator for the same reason I want to become a dentist, to bring people confidence through their smile.
What a nice guy. He does not belong in this house. Everyone else is like, yo, I'm here to make TikToks and get my dick sucked. And Raul's just like, hey, can you guys keep it down? I got dentist homework.
I brought all my energy drinks, 2 suitcases of candy. I got like packets of sugar.
She brought packets of sugar?
This morning everyone had eggs. I had 9 bags of sugar.
Oh, right, because she eats them for breakfast. Why did I even ask?
Everyone head to the living room.
It's time to meet your host.
What? Oh shit, time to see who the host is.
Honestly, I feel like it's gonna be like Brent Rivera, like Nikki and Gabby or something like that.
Either Brent Rivera or Ben Asler.
It might be Brent.
Come on, Brent. Ah!
Surprise! Yo, Alex?
Daddy Alex?
I feel like I should know who this person is based on their reactions, but I don't. Where this show really shines, though, is in the competitions. These newborn babies are ruthless competitors. The first one is kind of lame, though. They just had to guess what other people's answers to personal questions were. Things like pet names, that sort of thing.
Her pet's name is Mouse. And it's a mouse. That's so dumb.
Really, it was just an excuse to push them into the pool in slow motion. But guess who wins?
Raul! I won?
That's right, my boy Raul. Of course, the nicest guy in the house won this competition because he's a good listener. And what's his prize? He gets to ask the host for advice. And what advice does he want?
And I just wanted to hear if you have any tips for me about how to connect with people and form lasting bonds with them.
He just wants to know how to make friends. What a good person. What a wholesome guy. Maybe these people aren't so bad after all.
The boys' night, we're in flannels tonight. We're looking fly, we're looking cute.
Flannel bros! Flannel bros, let's get it.
And we're back. So they've been here for like 20 minutes and there's already drama.
She's shady's going around.
This is the first day. It is day one.
Drama, drama, drama.
Luckily, Coley has a brilliant idea to bring everyone together.
Okay, I have an idea to get us all closer. Let's all say one thing we don't like about each other. And then something we like.
Guys, I know how to get off on the right foot. Let's all insult each other. Don't worry though, she realizes her mistake and corrects herself.
Actually, forget the we like. Just we don't like.
Okay, well, that was the wrong part, but close enough.
That was the most cringy shit ever.
To round out episode 1, they all had to rank each other like they do in The Circle, and the results will be revealed in episode 2. Which I also watched. So far though, the rankings don't seem to matter much. I mean, I guess it did determine how they got paired up for the next challenge, but the way they did it seemed a little arbitrary, like they were just trying to rig it.
1 is with 8, 3 is with 6.
And then 4 and 2, obviously, that's just how this works. That's what we were gonna do the whole time. So there's a series of competitions on day 2, starting with the lipstick challenge.
Your goal is to put lipstick on your partner as accurately as possible. The team whose lipstick looks the worst will be eliminated.
So one person has to use their arms without looking, and the other person has to shout instructions to them over all of the other people shouting instructions inches away from each other. Simple enough challenge, except one team cheated.
Larry, because you took your hand out from behind your back and wiped your face, your team is eliminated.
As soon as Raul was done, she turned around and tried to fix it with her finger.
Coley, because you removed your hands from behind your back, and Giovanni, because you were looking at Coley the entire time, your team is eliminated.
And then they got eliminated too because he was just staring at her face the whole time. The point of the challenge is that you can't see what you're doing, and he just leaned over her shoulder like, oh, this isn't so hard, your lips are right here. And then this team loses because it was a try not to laugh challenge and one of them laughed. So guess what? Sabrina and Jada win. That's right, now they get to talk to Alex. Is that gonna be the prize every time? Not like a special dinner or an immunity idol. They just get to go ask David Dobrik Jr. one question. Side note, I had never heard of Alex before this video, but sometimes I would hear him talk and think, man, he sounds like David.
Do your best.
So I looked him up and was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not just me, that's like his whole thing. I guess that just makes it even funnier to me that his advice to Raul was, be yourself, when he's formed his entire online identity around another person. Anyway, he seems like a nice enough guy. I'm not here to shit on him. I just don't understand why having a conversation with him is such a coveted prize in this game. Maybe it's just because you get to go into the other room for 5 minutes while everybody else continues to yell at each other.
I'm not gonna give you an apology if I don't mean it.
Abby, you're a bitch, bro.
Time to get back into it with some rankings. I still don't understand what these are for, but maybe it'll make sense eventually.
You already know what I'm going.
No, I do not.
Sabrina.
I did not know that.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to the War Zone.
What? Bro, what?
Wait, we're playing Warzone? Let's fucking go, dude. Well, not exactly. Turns out what they actually mean is they're doing what they call an obstacle course, but what I would just call TikTok dances.
Yeah, throw that stack.
No, I don't think I will be watching the full dances, but thanks for the offer. So Giovanni and Sabrina had the fastest times, but Valeria and Julian...
You guys have the best content.
Can't argue with that. And for the final round, they did a swim race where the winners get to, say it with me, talk to Alex.
He gave us so many tips.
Work together, don't be afraid to be yourself. I see it a lot, especially in this industry where, it's very easy to become someone you're not.
After doing a real quick anti-vaping PSA,
I used to cope with it in a way that I'm not proud of. Like, I used to vape because all my friends would do it.
They revealed the new rankings and everybody's yelling again.
Just because I thought you guys were...
You think you're not interested?
What is none of you guys? What is interesting?
Why am I watching this?
I hate everyone here and I don't want to be here.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So I'm going to put Jada at the bottom.
Jada.
Okay, they keep ranking people, but no one gets voted out. So what is the point of the ranking? Are you gonna send someone home or not? Jada's practically begging for you to do it for her.
That's it. I'm done. Y'all won't be hearing no more from me. I'm out.
Flannel gang, let's go!
But we're 3 episodes in and no one has been eliminated. I thought that would be part of the game. I guess I don't understand. Wow, really exciting challenge in day 4. They're doing trivia.
What shape is the like button on TikTok?
It won't be nearly as fun to watch as all those popular dances were, but at least this gives me a chance to play along at home.
Well, girl, we're Noah Beck and Griffin Johnson beefing over.
Never mind. Honestly, they might as well be speaking gibberish. I have no idea what any of these words mean.
Is Andrew Davila part of the Sway House?
Who left the hype house to start the clubhouse?
Finally though, a pretty cool prize. The winning team gets to talk to Alex.
Talking to Alex today again, because I won today's challenge, was honestly super motivational.
Thank you, Internet Sherpa, for you have shown me the way. But it was worth it this time not to lose because the losing team received a punishment.
We'll have to spend the afternoon cleaning the house.
And the way they react to it makes it seem like this is the single worst day of their life. Episode 4 ends with some spin the bottle, so now they're screaming and kissing. I gotta say, I'm happy for Raul. He got to kiss the girl he liked, and that's about it as far as good news goes. In episode 5, they play a game where they pop a balloon on someone's head, and then that person has to spin a wheel, and then they talk shit about whoever it lands on.
Julian actually wet his bed. My bed! Literally the bed that we're sharing.
What the hell?
Are you serious? Wait, you peed? Bro, why you're 21!
As an honorary member of the former bedwetter club, I do feel for the guy. I used to wet the bed when I was a kid, but I never did it while someone else was sharing the bed with me. If I did, I don't think that shame would ever wear off. Okay, but here's the best part of the game. I guess Jada didn't realize she was supposed to pop the balloon, so she fucking chucked that shit right at someone's head. Move over, Raul. I've got a new favorite. For some reason, halfway through, they went inside for a rain delay, as if they weren't already soaking wet. But they never went outside and finished the game. They just skipped right to the rankings, which they all did on their phones. But then these girls were wondering what Owen was up to, so they went outside to Wait, I thought it was raining. Where's the rain, guys? Did they make that up? Anyway, these two lovebirds, who I thought just met like 3 days ago, went on a poolside date where he reveals this.
I might have wrote a song about you.
You wrote a song about me?
Yeah.
Yep. He wrote her a song and recorded the song and produced the song in the house? Well, let's hear it.
Here's the song.
I just wanna be with you forever. She makes me
I just want to be with you forever. She makes me pancakes. This show is the best. Guess what time it is? FaceTime time. Now it's Jada who gets to ask for advice.
If I was to give you my best advice, I'd say is let your guard down a little bit, get to know the people, show them that you're not a threat, because I feel like they may view you as a threat.
That's actually really good advice.
Thank you, House Messiah. Your infinite wisdom shall prove invaluable. We are the same age. Wait a minute, there's a phone number you can text for exclusive next influencer content?
Hello?
Hello? Is this the number for...
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Is this the number for Is this the number...
This is a voicemail. Who talks on the phone anymore? Text me instead.
Asshole. Welcome to Awesomeness TV's Next Influencer Club. Cool. That was worth it. All right, nice simple sponge challenge on day 6. Should be pretty fun, right? Well, not for this group of adult toddlers.
No! Don't cheat! Don't be a cheater!
You're literally blocking
Let's go! Shut the f up!
And now they're assaulting each other. These people are the physical embodiment of if I just talk louder, that means I'm right.
I came here to warn you! Shut up, Jovan!
Oh my god, this show is so hard to watch.
You guys are so dumb.
You want to know why she's yelling at him? Because she found out the guys have an alliance and she thinks that's cheating. I'm sorry, but I've watched a lot of Survivor and Big Brother in my day. If forming an alliance is cheating, then every contestant who's ever been on those shows should be disqualified.
And you know you're not gonna win, so you need to have someone else help you.
That's how you win, dog.
I would love to lose.
Not that it matters, because the rankings have yet to mean anything. Also, note to the Awesomeness TV producers, just because you have footage of people yelling at each other, doesn't mean you have to put all of it into the show.
Listen the f up!
It's not always entertaining. At a certain point, it's just noise. Really though, this episode was a turning point for me as a fan, because this is when they started to go after my boy Raul.
And then Raul, like, he can't even make content with his, like, I don't even know how many followers he has.
Oh, I'm in college. I am a psychology dentist major.
Imagine making fun of someone for wanting to go to med school. But it's not just the kids, even the producers are starting to screw him over. While Raul was inside studying doctor's stuff, the host was like, hey, you guys want to see what Raul did? What the fuck? Even his new girlfriend doesn't respect him because she keeps calling him Rail.
Rail?
His name is Raul. And you're disrespecting a future US Army dentist. So because they found out he was lying about his rankings by betraying his trust and going through his phone, he had to apologize to Coley, and the boys knew exactly what to do.
Hey Coley, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. You know that I love you. Let me be your Mexican.
All right, forget everything I said. I like the show again. Later on day 7, they all do a TikTok duet challenge where they all have to duet Alex's TikTok and he picks the winner. Now we're talking. Here's the video. Oh boy, that'll make for some wacky collabs. I tell you, what a privilege it is for us to witness firsthand the nation's best and brightest in action.
What the f am I supposed to do with this box?
It's hard to narrow down my favorite TikTok to just one. I mean, Gabby's was great.
What is going on? Bro, what?
Meanwhile, Owen jumped into the box. And Valeria brought out the special effects.
Okay.
Gonna be hard to choose. Except not really, because Jada was the only one who put in any effort. Surprise! They're all yelling at each other again.
No, he's doing it.
But I'm more interested in the banner that they blurred out in the background. It very clearly says, "Happy birthday, Ian." Why did they have to blur that out? That's like the least revealing information. All right, so we know this was Ian's birthday. Now all we have to figure out is his last name, what year he was born, what day this was filmed, and who Ian is. And then we'll have all the information we need. In episode 8, they stole a competition directly from Big Brother, where everybody takes turn hiding something, and then everyone else looks for them, and whoever's thing doesn't get found, wins. They do that shit on Big Brother every season. I know this because I watch it. This show wants to be Big Brother, Alex wants David Dobrik to be his big brother, and Gabby wants to go home.
I want to leave this house. Like, everyone's really so mean.
I don't blame her. These people are so mean to each other, it's actually insane.
Get your hands off of me, you trashy ass!
All at once, they all started piling on Gabby. They screamed in her face, they trashed her room, and then while she was gone, they poured Sprite into her water bottle, which has got to be the lamest prank I've ever seen in my life. Also, Valeria's just a bully.
Raul is always going on and on and on and on about rankings, alliances, friendships. Like, nobody cares.
That's what everybody talks about. I don't know why I'm getting so upset. I feel like I have 2 brain cells after watching 9 episodes of this. Thank God it's almost over.
So this show ends today, but the friendships you guys are making don't.
No. These people are never going to talk to each other ever again. All right, so now that it's day 10, and these are the final rankings, these ones will finally matter, right? These will determine the winner? No. For 10 straight days, the rankings meant nothing. They still mean nothing because the winner is chosen by Alex.
The winner of the competition and Awesomeness TV's next influencer is Owen Holt. Oh my God!
Raul got robbed. It's probably for the best anyway. The grand prize was a show deal with Awesomeness TV, and I would hate for him to have to drop out of med school just to do that. I was relieved while reading the comments that most people were also hate watching this. I don't think anyone was like, man, this is some quality shit right here. And let me tell you, there have been some excellent comments, but my absolute favorite, the one that perfectly sums up how I feel about the show, is this. This is literally the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. When is season 2? So now we know what it takes to be the next top TikTok influencer. I guess Owen, good luck with your show. I can't wait to check it out. Raul, I'll be sure to hit you up if I ever need a tooth pulled. And Alex, just try not to copy everything David does. Anyway, sorry for introducing you guys to this show. I know your life would have been better off without it, but I can make it up to you right now by doing a brand deal. Hi, today's video is sponsored by Current, the future of banking. Guys, banks are stinky. Banks are old, and 99% of what you use them for is online anyway, so why not use a bank that's built for the modern age? Current is also partnering with me to give you guys money. So if you do sign up, it's free, find me on the app, my tag is Drew Gooden, and request $500. I'm gonna be randomly picking 10 people to give that money to, and then you can use it to buy whatever you want. Except for drugs. Drew Gooden Inc. does not support the use of drugs. I'll be sending out the money in a couple weeks to give you all time for your cards to show up in the mail. If you're interested, go to current.com/Drew to sign up and read more about them. And good luck. You're gonna need it. Thank you to Current for sponsoring today's video, and thank you, Guy, for ingesting it. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and comment something nice to me. If you say something mean, I will not go to your birthday party. But I will still buy you a present. Anyway, I will see you all next time for part 12 of my vasectomy vlog. And until then, Happy birthday.
That was the most cringy shit ever.
Hey guys, welcome back to my second attempt at filming this intro because when I tried to do this yesterday, I forgot to focus the camera. Life can be pretty stressful sometimes. Even when you're not screwing up one of the easiest jobs in the world, you're often faced with important decisions and complex moral dilemmas. And it can be hard to know exactly what to do because things are almost never black and white, except in Darman videos.
This pizza's frozen cold. I'm not paying for this.
Maybe you should get a job delivering pizza.
Derek finally understands how difficult it is to have a job.
I know how hard your job is.
The Darman cinematic universe has a beautifully simplistic view on life where there's always a good guy and a bad guy, there's an obvious solution to every problem, and karma happens immediately. Teacher accuses student of doing drugs, instantly regrets. Car mechanic tries to scam a woman, instantly regrets. Customer shames fast food worker, instantly regrets. Instantly regret. And when the titles don't end with instantly regrets it, it's what happens next will shock you. Which is funny because every single Darman video is exactly the same, so at this point, I am no longer shocked.
If you want this, you're gonna have to get it from the trash.
Here, you can get it out of the trash.
I know I'm a few years late to the Darman party, but I was in need of motivation and didn't know where else to turn. So today, I'd like to watch a few of his videos with you and see if we get inspired or if I instantly regret it. This first one's called Student Cheats on Final Exam. The important words are always capitalized for emphasis. And as you can see, little Michael over here is not paying attention to his classes. Instead, he's poisoning his brain with violent video games.
He took my kill.
Shame on you, Michael. I get it though, games are fun, but you're not gonna be able to coast through life multitasking. When you're at work, you focus on your job. And you don't let anything distract you from your job. Damn you, Mr. Mosby. To be fair though, he's obviously a gaming prodigy. Look at how he's able to move his character without even touching his keyboard. And apparently he's bilingual, so I actually think this kid's got a bright future ahead of him. Mr. Wilson's not happy with him though. You know how teachers can be.
Hey, Michael, it's showing me that you're on mute and your camera's off.
Oh, sorry. My computer was acting up.
Wow, a gamer and a liar? Now he's perfect for FaZe Clan.
Can you get us the new PS5?
How about if you both get A's on your math final?
Which is apparently your only class.
Then I'll buy it for you. How does that sound?
Really? Okay. Well, you may as well buy it for us now, because I'm gonna ace that test.
Huh. He sure is confident for someone who hasn't been paying any attention. I just hope he's not doing anything nefarious.
Check this out. Is this our math final? I found it online, so now I have all the answers.
I spoke too soon. He is doing something nefarious. Wait, did I? No, you did not.
It's not cheating. It's called taking a shortcut. I mean, how else do you think people succeed in life?
By taking the long way? I gotta say though, that was my favorite website growing up. middleschoolmathanswers.com. Of course, the entire page was just this specific final exam, and I never had Mr. Wilson as a teacher, so maybe that's why I always failed math.
Studying is for losers.
Ain't that the truth?
Mikey compares the final exam to all the questions on the website.
Who's talking right now?
Is everything okay?
Yes, yeah, I just came by to let you know that Jaden got a 100% on his math final.
Hell yeah, my boy Jaden's getting a PS5, which means he can finally play. Well, it's still nice to have. This is great news. If Jaden passed, that means they both got an A, right?
0%? This is an F.
Huh?
That's impossible. I cheated. I studied.
Well, as I was saying, Michael got all of his answers correct. If those answers were from this website that I created.
That sneaky bastard. I knew middleschoolmathanswers.com was too good to be true.
You did?
I did.
All right, and let's use that same exact shot again. Perfect.
There are no shortcuts to success. You have to do things the right way.
That must be the lesson of the video because they put it in the script twice.
There are no shortcuts to success. You have to do things the right way.
Oh, sorry? 3 times, actually.
That's so unfair!
Go to your room. Now. Just wait till I tell your dad about this.
I'm sure he'll be back any day. As time has gone on, Darman has gotten more and more meta. He loves mentioning people who've made videos about him, like Cody Ko, who actually got to be in one of his videos.
Cody's the new cook here. I'm so sorry, man.
And it was a very inspiring lesson about the importance of being patient.
Look, now I realize that success does require patience. And great things really do take time.
Oh, I quit. Dar also has characters mention himself a lot.
Today we will be watching a Darman video.
Yes, I love Darman. Yeah, there's no surprise there. Only nerds and dorks watch Darman.
I like how on one hand you have the self-deprecation of someone being like, Darman's for nerds, but then you also have these other characters defend and compliment him.
All his videos are dumb.
They're not dumb, Billy. They teach important life lessons.
Are you watching Drew Gooden videos? Yeah. That guy is a loser. All he does is film himself pooping and farting all day long, edit it into a little compilation, and then upload it to his OnlyFans. And I happen to like that. I think Drew Gooden is a very cool guy who seems handsome as well and is smart guy. You're right. He is much awesome, and I couldn't agree more on the handsome part. It actually goes even further than that. You see, in this sketch, Darman is written to be the ultimate celebrity. He is idolized by every single child in this school except for the bully.
Because only losers with no friends watch his videos.
That's not true. I watch Starman, I love all his videos.
Noah even spends his lunch break watching him on YouTube. Side note, I love that instead of just playing a video on the phone, they made the editor mask it onto the phone frame by frame. As a former video editor myself, I can relate to that all too well. Oh, don't you think we should pull up the video? Ah, don't worry about it. We'll fix it in post. What do you mean we? What'd you say? Nothing? Sorry. And take that paper off. You got it, boss. And when Noah's mom comes to pick him up after a long day of ruthless bullying.
Dork! Psych!
She knows just how to make him feel better.
Darman t-shirt. So you see?
Really? Wow. Thanks, Mom. I love it.
That's right, honey. I got you merch. Are you happy now?
Yeah, merch make me happy.
That's right, merch can cheer anyone up, even the saddest, loneliest boy. You just have to buy a shirt like me, and then you'll be happy. Link in description.
Loser!
Tell me what's going on.
I don't have any friends. And today, I was the laughing stock of the school. You see? Oh, my glasses. My glasses. I can't see.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Are you okay?
That's Darman. Some kid at school has been really mean to me. Look, again, I'm really sorry. Darman, I can't believe it's really you. I'm like your #1 fan.
I can't believe it. This is the best day of my life. Wait, why are you standing outside of a middle school? That's kind of weird.
You know, back when I was in school, I didn't even have any friends.
Wait, what? You didn't?
That can't be true. You're Darman. You're the coolest guy ever. We worship you.
What's so funny?
Darman?
In this universe, you are literally our God. You gave birth to us.
Thanks, Noah. I really appreciate that. And you know what? I think you're so cool. I even made you your own limited edition merch.
Holy shit, it's a real shirt. I can really buy it.
I can't believe this. I'm gonna go put this on right now.
I guess my work here is done. If you guys need me, I will be standing in the parking lot, just kind of lurking there. So. It's funny when you start to notice how formulaic every video is, to a T. There's always a scene near the beginning where the adult finds a reason to leave the room so the kids can be mean to each other in peace.
I have to get this. I'll be back. Just give me 1 minute.
I gotta take this.
Next, we're gonna hear from... Sorry, guys, I do have to take this.
No one is calling me. I just have to take my phone outside. And while they're gone, one of the kids will throw out the most basic, uncreative insult at the nerd, and everyone else will laugh hysterically.
You don't have any friends.
Stop it, Paula. It's not nice to beat.
How are you going to beat me when you can't even say a simple word, stuttering Steven?
I do have to say, the set pieces in these videos are immaculate. Even though this classroom sort of looks like your brain's vague interpretation of one while in a dream, it almost seems real with such details as the name of the school on the whiteboard. My teachers would always do that too, just in case we forgot where we were. In this one, Steven and Paula are going head to head in the race for class president.
Because I'm popular and I'm pretty.
It's a real David versus Goliath story. I love their campaign slogans. Vote for Steven to end bullying. Or vote for Princess Paula because I'm the most popular. Her famous quote.
So that's why I think you should vote for me. I'm popular, I'm pretty, plus I'll make sure we have less homework and more movies.
These kids have really lofty goals as class president. Steve wants to arrest all the bullies and Paula's gonna ban homework. Do middle school class presidents actually do anything? Because I feel like this plot is sort of built on the notion that whoever wins is gonna be sitting behind a desk all day passing executive orders. No, I said pizza for lunch every day. I guess now that I think about it, the title could be interpreted pretty ominously. Kids make fun of boy and live to regret it. Sounds like he might hire the middle school Secret Service to take care of anyone who called him Stuttering Steven, which, by the way, is a top-tier nickname, and one that's definitely worthy of the laughter that ensues each time it's said.
Stuttering Steven, Stuttering Steven, Stuttering Steven.
This is another one of my favorite Darman tropes. In the last video, Noah was a nerd, so the bully called him
Noah the nerd.
And then there was one with a poor kid named Gordon who bought his clothes from Goodwill.
See you later, Goodwill Gordon.
Goodwill Gordon.
And then there's another bullying video about a girl in a wheelchair named Wendy, and this one's kind of tough, so I'm gonna give you a few minutes to think about it. What do you think her nickname is?
Wheelchair Wendy.
I don't know how he comes up with this stuff.
Homeless Heather.
Jordan the janitor.
This time it's Wendy who's getting made fun of because we've been transported into the Darman universe where everyone is a bully except for the nerds and people with disabilities.
Would one of you mind helping me reach that? Just because your legs don't work doesn't mean your arms don't work.
She just keeps on roasting Wendy for absolutely no reason and expects Noah, that's right, we got another Noah.
There's Noah. He's so hot.
She expects him to laugh along because he's the football quarterback guy. And that's what football quarterback guys do. But he doesn't, so she's confused until she learns.
Why do you keep sticking up for her?
Because I know what it feels like to be in her shoes. A few years ago, I took a really bad hit. The doctor told me that I wouldn't be able to walk for a really long time. But do you know what hurt even more? How other people would treat me. They'd stop and stare.
Really? He's like... Did you hear about Noah? He suffered a major spinal injury that could leave him paralyzed for the rest of his life. Oh my God. That is very funny to me. To me as well, I am laughing at that.
I know what it feels like to be in a wheelchair. And Wendy doesn't deserve to be treated that way.
So, is the point that if he hadn't experienced that, then the bullying would be okay? Is the lesson that you can only be nice to someone if you can relate to them? Because it almost sounds like Noah would be laughing at Wendy if he hadn't personally been in a wheelchair himself, which I think is kind of flawed logic. You could be nice to someone just because. That's kind of how all these videos go. Another one of my favorites is the trope of the rich kid making fun of the poor kid, and then the parents of the rich kid are like, hey, you need to walk a mile in their shoes, and then they do, and they're like, wow, I never knew it was so hard to be poor. I was spoiled.
Joey takes out an old tablet since his mom took away his new one. Everyone laughs and makes him feel really bad.
I like how in this one, it's established that the Minecraft shirts are new and cool, but the Animal Crossing is so last year.
No way! Look at what you're wearing! Is that last year's Animal Crossing t-shirt?
Yeah.
Why? No one plays that anymore. We'll play Minecraft.
Minecraft's been around since like 2012. Those could be very old shirts. It is hard to completely make fun of these videos. They can be pretty cringy and the music is always comically intense.
You have 7 followers on Instagram. And you want to be a YouTuber.
But the intentions are good, so I can't be mad about that. I'm sure there were at least a couple of kids who watched one of these and came away more empathetic towards someone than they were before. And that's great. They're also weirdly addicting to watch because even though you know what's gonna happen at the end of all of them, they always write the bully to be so unlikable that you kind of want to stick around for their inevitable comeuppance.
Never judge a book by its cover.
Ooh. Would you look at that? A woman who knows nothing
about cars.
As a woman, you may not be able to understand all this.
She's a woman, for crying out loud.
I know as a woman, you probably don't know much about cars.
I actually know a lot about cars.
You're fired.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, Darman, keep up the good work. YouTube just wouldn't be the same without you. And also, please cast me in one of your videos. I could pretend to be a cook. I could knock over an egg. Just give me a shot. Small disclaimer, I do live in Florida. You're gonna have to fly out to me. I will not come to you. That's non-negotiable. Those are my terms. Needless to say, this has been a very inspiring afternoon. I think I'm finally feeling like myself again. And if there's one thing I know myself would do, it would be a brand deal. You know how when people can't dance, they say they have 2 left feet? Well, when it comes to cooking, I have 2 left hands. But with today's sponsor, HelloFresh, I get 3 delicious meals delivered to my door every week with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and step-by-step instruction cards that I can stare at for as long as it takes to figure it out. My wife and I have been subscribed to them for a couple years now, long before they even started sponsoring my channel, which is one of the reasons I was so excited to work with them, because it's a product I've actually used and believe in. The food is great, and I love that 3 meals are already taken care of every week, which saves me a trip to the store. I like trying new recipes I find online, but I can't tell you how much time I've wasted walking down like 6 different aisles trying to find one specific ingredient, only to realize they don't even sell it here because I accidentally went to Home Depot. There are a ton of customization options with HelloFresh, whether you're a vegetarian or a pescatarian, or you're looking for low-carb meals, they've got you covered. I love going on the app and seeing what we're gonna get, swapping meals out if I wanna try something new, or adding a batch of garlic bread because it literally goes with everything. So if you wanna try it out for yourself and see why they're America's #1 meal kit, go to HelloFresh.com and use my promo code I'mALittleStinker14 for 14 free meals, including free shipping. Again, that's I'mALittleStinker14. An easy way to remember that is that it was my MySpace bio in 2007. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video instead of baking me into a cake. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked it, please don't say anything because it's gonna go straight to my head. And if you didn't like it, please also don't say anything because it's gonna go straight to my heart. Be sure to tune in first thing tomorrow morning for a brand new video where I take all of my other videos and put a laugh track over them.